back to the Common Guru. I'm Jax, and today we're going to take a look at the next question in our New Year, New Way series. What do you value more, your physical possessions or the ability to control your own thoughts? I'd say the majority of society right now focuses on the physical possessions, and I don't really think we give much thought to whether or not we should control our own thoughts. So let's talk about physical possessions for the first little bit here. I always think of the movie when I think of physical possessions of Finding Nemo. I don't know if any of you have seen the animated movie, and you can always check it out on YouTube, or you can go to my Steam It Written post, and I've included a clip here of exactly what I'm talking about. In the movie, there's these very affectionate characters of the seagulls, and they laugh. When they see something they want, they go, mine, mine, mine. And actually, it became one of these sayings that when people are being possessive about something and they think that it's theirs and that it's mine, we chime the seagull chant, mine, mine, mine. And it's very funny to see. But it has brought up a very interesting point for me on what we value and what we think is of value. Because if you look at the sea in regards to the seagulls, they would want this crab that they could eat. That was of most value to them, and that's what they wanted. And that's what they were chiming over. Or they wanted to eat Nemo, and they wanted to eat Nemo's dad and their friend Dory, who were more fish, and they were extreme of value to them. But they could have had buried treasure there underneath the water, or they could even be sitting on it as part of their perch, and it was absolutely no value to them whatsoever. So value is a very subjective thing. And you can tell people who take great value in their possessions because they put great security to keep them, and it's very important. They can have locks, or they can have safes, or they can have a security system. And it's funny because you'll ask someone, they'll go, well, I have a security system on my house to keep my family safe. And I'm like, well, when your family leaves the house, do you leave it unlocked then? Because you did say that the security system was only for when the family was safe, right? So that's when the family is home. The rest of the time, if you're having a security system, is to keep your possessions safe. Just some food for thought. Anyway, another thing that people want to value and possess is their identity. And that's because, with all this identity theft that's out there, that you go into great measures. And they actually saw a commercial on TV the other day of a company that provides a service to keep your identity safe, because that's another possession, if you want to say, that we hold high value in, because when someone takes our identity and uses it for their own purposes, it can be a very negative experience. But when I thought about, do we use those kind of safety measures when it comes to our own thoughts? Do you actually control what goes in and out of your brain? And I know sometimes you sit there and go, I don't want to hear about that, about how people are trying to take over our brain and whatever. But if you actually took a look at your brain and compartment, oh my gosh, I can't say the word. This is one of those make different departments in your brain. I'm sure, anyway. Then if you took a look at what takes real estate, you'd be very interested to see who actually controls what you think. So in my Steam It post, I relate it to a frog in hot water. They did some studies with frogs, and they wanted to see at what point if a frog could be cooked in hot water without them knowing. I don't really understand why people decide to make these tests and theories, but that's what they did. So what they found is if they put a frog in water, or they put the frog in water that was too hot, the frog would jump out. But they found that if they did a gradual increase in temperature, the frog would not realize that the water was increasing in temp and be cooked right there in the water and die. The same thing goes with our thoughts. So we could have two different ways of doing this. But that's actually four, so we'll go with two. We have two different ways of doing this. You can either have a thought that's in your mind and it's corroding. So let's say you had an event in your life where you believe that you're not worthy. Then what will happen is that you're not worthy. So this constant thought is all controlling your mind, and it's, you're not worthy, you're not worthy, you're not worthy. So when you come up to a new experience, you don't come up from a clean slate. You come from a position where already you think that you're not worthy. So one of the two things will happen. You either, I'm going to prove that I'm not worthy, and you go into it from an aggressive point of view, and you actually could damage the experience. Or you can come in from the, oh, I know I'm not worthy, and you come in from a weak position, and again the experience is not pure, and you've tainted it either by your being over aggressive or being passive aggressive and being weak. So really you don't approach the experience from a true perspective. And then what happens is that perspective gets tainted by your approach of your unworthiness, and then manifests to you that you're not worthy. And so it just confirms what's going on. So that actual belief is in control of your thoughts. So that's number one. And it happens so gradually that you don't even realize that you're cooked like the frog. The other way is by the outside influence. I remember when I was younger, there was a song that would come on the radio, and I'd be like, I really don't like that song very much. But they played it so many times that I knew all the words to the song. So I've had that happen. Even yesterday, I was talking with my hubby. We were at a restaurant, and this song came on. He started singing with the song. I said, "Oh, do you like that song?" He goes, "No, I just know all the words." The same thing can happen with some of the people that are in our life that dictate to us how we think. Who is taking the real estate up in your mind? Is it you? Like, do you have a security system? Do you put as much value of what the real estate is in your mind as in your television or your house or your furniture or your car? I didn't. For the longest time, I honestly thought that other people knew more than I did about who I was, or I was so enamored and starstruck by their intelligence or the letters behind their name that I automatically dismissed my ability to think for myself. So that's what I did. I decided that, you know what? I have a picture of who I want to be as an individual, and I am learning to undo the ones like the unworthiness and those beliefs that are cooking my brain. Because really what I want to do is I want to have a clear picture of who I am and see the world for its truth and create a reality that's happy for me. And I can't do that with the thoughts that are already in my real estate, and then the ones that are coming from the outside that are trying to convince myself that real estate should be there, and it shouldn't. So what do I value more, my physical possessions or my thought process, or what's controlling my thoughts? I'd say now that it's shifted. Don't get me wrong, I still would not want to lose my possessions. I've worked to earn those and buy those and keep those, and the idea of having to replace them is not a very fun idea. But the idea of someone controlling my thoughts and telling me who I'm not, I'm really done with that kind of mindset. I'm on a path where I want to really believe the truth about myself and accept the untruths so that I can learn those, decode them, and find out the truth about myself. And I guard my brain very carefully. Just like the hot water that the frog was in, that if someone comes to me with an idea that goes against what my thinking is, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's wrong, but it needs to be questioned. And first of all, find out, is it a false belief that I have in my mind that is holding up real estate? Is that a manifestation of it? If it is, then great. Let's take it, understand it, find the truth in it, find the perspective, and release it so that I no longer am bound by that in my real estate. Time for some spring cleaning. But if it's a truth that I've come in that I'm not familiar with, again, am I being teachable? Am I understanding that I really want that thought process in my real estate? And there's that questioning, that time where you don't just take things at face value, that you really, really spend some time and understand what you are programming into your brain, because what you bring in and what you think is what you project into your reality. So Fort Knox kind of security system needs to be around the way you think and what you allow to control your thinking. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a great day. And if there's other ways you want to connect with the Common Guru, just check down in our description box. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.